Okay, so if you wanna start setting up meetings in Zoom, the first thing you need to do is sign into your Zoom account at uh, zoom.us. So you go to their website and sign in. There are different ways to sign in. You can sign in with the email address associated with your account. I have two accounts, one that's associated with my zorkmeetacomcast.net account and one that's associated with my Google account. So I'm going to use that one today because it has my meetings set up. And it when you sign in, it takes you right to your meetings tab. This is showing all of my upcoming meetings, and over here on the right is the button to schedule a meeting. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to click on schedule a meeting, and it opens up the meeting tab to start a meeting, and I give my meetings a meaningful name. So I'm going to call this Owen's Guitar Lesson. I'm not going to spell lesson correctly until the second time I type it, and I can tell it some details about what this meeting is for. Okay. Now, then you just select the date. Here you can click on the calendar, 21st, tell it what time, and tell it how long it's going to be. I can select whether or not this is going to be a recurring meeting, so if it's a meeting that happens more than once, I can click that. This line right here, registration, if you click this and require registration, you typically want, for most meetings, you want this to not be selected. But this, if registration is required, then people have to have a Zoom account already to join the meeting. So ordinarily leave this off. Meeting ID, you should always select generate automatically. That's the most secure way to do it. If you use your personal meeting ID, it's possible that somebody could get a hold of your personal meeting ID, and you don't want Yahoo's getting a hold of that. So generate a new random meeting ID for every meeting. You should always have a passcode selected. The waiting room. This is a security measure so that people joining the meeting, if they get a hold of the invite and you don't want them in your meeting, then they come to the waiting room first, and you get to see who they are before you let them in. So that's a personal choice. I start most of my meetings with a waiting room, but I think probably for guitar lessons you probably don't need this, so we'll leave the waiting room off. All right, this line is when the meeting starts, when the host joins the meeting, is their video going to be on or off? And I usually start with mine off to make sure that before I turn my video on, I have my pants on or whatever. The participant, I like to leave this I usually leave it off, but if you're working with people that aren't particularly technically savvy, you can start their video for them automatically when they join the meeting. That saves them having to figure out, oh, how do I turn the meeting on my iPad or on my iPhone or whatever. So this is a good setting to have for participants' video on automatically when they join the meeting. Audio, the audio line, this should be at both. You can join a Zoom meeting from your telephone by dialing a 10-digit telephone number. This allows people, if you have both selected, to join the audio and to hear and talk in the meeting either from their phone by dialing a phone number or through their computer audio with like their microphone and speakers or their headset or whatever. So both is the most flexible, and you should always check both. And then here's some more meeting options. This one, enable join before host. If you don't start the meeting right at the scheduled time and a participant clicks on the link and joins the meeting, if you have this selected, it will put them into sort of a waiting area, a limbo area, where it will give them a message that you've joined the meeting and you are waiting for the host to start the meeting. So this is a good thing to do, especially for things like people that tend to be very punctual. And this will allow them actually to join, to start a few minutes before the scheduled meeting. Mute participants on meetings upon entry. That's sort of related to whether their video is on or off in the same sense. This mutes their microphone if as they enter the meeting, which can be a useful thing. And then automatically record. These are options you probably won't need. You can assign an alternative host to your meeting, which probably won't matter for you since you're doing one-on-one stuff. And then once you're satisfied with your settings, you just click Save, and it puts it. Then it will show you that this meeting has been created, and it gives you some things that you can do here in the meeting. So it tells you what the meeting is, what the description is, and then you can add it to your Google Calendar. If you click on this link, it'll open up. In my case, it opens up my Google Calendar and creates a new calendar option, and you can do all the things here. And I'm just going to delete this for the time being. But you can. It's very easy to put it on your Google Calendar or Yahoo Calendar or Outlook. This shows the meeting ID. It shows the passcode. You can look at the passcode there. If you're going to invite people, there's two ways you can do it. You can copy this information yourself and send it in an email or a text or whatever to the people. But the slickest and easiest way to do this is just to copy this meeting invitation by clicking on Copy Invitation. It opens up this box, and then you copy this and hit this big blue Copy Meeting Information button. It copies it to your clipboard, and then you can go over to your email program and compose an email, and you just address it. I'll send it to myself. And give it and then I just copy and paste. Boom, and there it is. So when the user sees this, and you can add to the email. Use this link to join on Monday, and there's the link right there, and I send the email, and boom, I'm done. I can come back, cancel this out, and then I can go back to meetings, and I look in my list of upcoming meetings, and there's Owen's guitar lesson right there. I can start any of these meetings at any time just by clicking this start button, and back up here I can schedule more meetings. If I need to edit one of these meetings, I just edit it, click that edit button, and I can make any adjustments, and then come down here, and any adjustments I made, I save. And that's how to schedule a meeting. So I hope that's helpful. It's really a pretty easy program to use, and it's really easy to use. I recommend it. So thanks.